Hello, Mr. Mailer here, your online math teacher. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be continuing my video series on TI tips, and in particular looking at how to run a one-sample t-test for a population mean on your TI-84 calculator. So if you find this video helpful, consider smashing the like button, subscribing, and let's go. So if you were doing these, you're probably studying hypothesis tests, and you will have something similar to what I have at the top of my document here. So I'm talking about exam scores here just for a basic example. My null hypothesis is that the true mean is 85. My alternative is that the true mean is actually greater than 85, and I've said what my mu is. So if you're doing a hypothesis test like this, you probably are in one of two cases. You're either given your sample data, which I have on my left, or you're being told some basic information about the sample statistics. So you can do a test on your calculator with either one of these approaches. Let's start with data. If you start by having a couple data values and you want to run a one sample t-test, first thing you need to do is enter your data into a list on your calculator. So to do that, you go stat, edit, and I have already entered the data into list 1 on my calculator. So I have already cleared that first step here. Second step is go to a t-test for data. To do that, I'm going to go stat, scroll to the right twice to get to tests, and I'm going to select the second thing on the menu, which is a t-test. But since I'm doing this for data, this first bit says input. I'm going to scroll to the right, make sure I have data selected. From here, I now can go to step 3, enter my null hypothesis, the list I've stored my data in, key frequency equal to 1, and my alternative hypothesis. So in this case, I have a null hypothesis of the mean test score being 85%. I stored all of my data into list 1, so I'll put list 1 here. I'm just going to keep frequency equal to 1. Then I need to enter my alternative hypothesis. In this case, my alternative hypothesis is that the true mean is greater than 85. So I'm going to select that I want my alternative to be greater than that null hypothesis. And then finally, I can either calculate or draw. If I do calculate, it'll spit out just numbers for me. It'll give me my critical value, my p-value, as well as its standard deviation and sample mean, as well as sample size. So you could do that, or alternatively, you could have just gone with draw instead. I kind of like draw because it gives me a nice visual, and sorry for my box plot here. It also gives me that t-value and that p-value along with it. So I like the nice visual I get here. Again, ignore my box plot. So alternatively, you might not have started out with your data, but you will have started out with some information about your sample. So your sample mean, your sample standard deviation, and your sample size. If you're in that case, again, you can do a t-test for stats. So this time you go stat, tests, but I'm going to stat this time. And then you can enter in your information. So it's actually carrying over my data from what I had before. So I would enter in my null hypothesis of 85, my sample mean of 86. I would type standard deviation, and I would type 7.07. So I'm going to replace the long, more exact one here, actually, 7.07, because you're probably not given that in it. Enter your sample size. So we had sample size 6 here. And enter in your alternative hypothesis, which in our case, again, is that the true mean is greater than that null parameter. And from here, now it's calculate or draw again, and you'll get basically the same answers minus some rounding differences. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, consider smashing the like button, subscribing, and have an awesome day.